Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're talking about something huge. It's a massive shift in how companies grow. We're moving away from just, selling stuff and moving towards building real, genuine movements. So let's just kick things off with a number, a big one. The cost to get a new customer, it's gone up by nearly 60% in just the last few years. I mean, think about that. That's not just a small bump. That is a massive, massive hit to the bottom line for pretty much any business out there. For years, the playbook was super simple, right? You just buy some ads, push people into a sales funnel, and then just rinse and repeat. Well, that engine is sputtering out. It's broken. The very same methods that built all these amazing companies we know, they're just not cutting it anymore. So that leaves us with a really big question, especially if you're a founder, a marketer, anyone trying to build something. If the old way is dead, then what's next? How are you supposed to grow now? Okay, let's get into it. All right, so before we can really get the new model, we've got to figure out why the old one completely fell apart. And trust me, it wasn't just one thing. It was like a perfect storm.
Okay, so there are three big reasons. First up, channel saturation. Think about it. Everywhere you look online, from Google to TikTok, it's just packed. It's expensive. The days of cheap ads are long gone. Then you've got this huge privacy recalibration. Things like GDPR and Apple's iOS updates, they've basically shattered the ad tracking we all relied on. And the third piece, maybe the most important, is the trust deficit. We're just bombarded with ads all day, every day. So who do we trust? Not brands. We trust our friends, our peers.
And all of this has created something called the dark funnel. Sounds kind of spooky, but it's where everything important is happening now. We're talking about private Slack groups, Discord servers, WhatsApp chats. This is where the real conversations and buying decisions are made. A recommendation from a friend in one of those groups, that's gold. And the crazy part for companies is they can't see it. They can't track it, and they sure as heck can't buy ads there. So, okay, the old funnel is toast. What now? Well, a new model has risen from the ashes, and it's way more powerful. It's called community-led growth, or CLG for short. And the key thing to get is that it doesn't work like a funnel at all. It's a flywheel.
And you can really see the evolution of how we think about growth here. It's like a story in three parts. First, we had sales-led growth. That's the classic, let me sell you this solution. Then came product-led growth, which was all about, hey, just try the solution for yourself. But now, we're in the era of community-led growth, and the philosophy is totally different. It's come join the movement. The engine isn't a salesperson or even the product itself. It's the network. It's the people.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Think about a sales funnel. Every single quarter, it's back to zero. You have to pour more money in just to fill it back up. It's exhausting. But a community is a flywheel. Every bit of energy you put in just adds to its momentum. It doesn't reset. It builds and builds over years, creating this incredible, sustainable asset for your business. Okay, so you're probably thinking, great, I'll just start a Slack group and call it a day. But hold on. It is not that simple. To build a real flywheel, you can't just dump a bunch of people into a chat room. You have to really get the physics of what makes a community tick. And, just as important, what doesn't. This right here might be the most important slide. You have to understand the difference between an audience and a community. An audience is one-to-many. It's a brand on a stage talking at a crowd. But a community, that's a network. It's many-to-many. It's people talking to each other. See the difference? You sell to an audience, you build with a community. The real magic, the real value, it's in the connections between the people themselves. So how do you actually manage this? Well, smart frameworks like this one, the Orbit model, help you see it as a journey. Not everyone is at the same level of engagement. You've got your observers on the outside, kind of lurking and watching. Then some become participants. They'll show up, listen, maybe download something. A smaller group becomes contributors. They're the ones posting, commenting, and adding value. And at the very center, you have your ambassadors. These are the true believers, the ones who basically become a part of your team. The whole game is creating pathways to move people from the outside in. Okay, but let's talk brass tacks. How does this actually make a business money? How does it create real value? Well, the Spaces framework is a great way to think about it. It breaks it down into 6 concrete things. A great community provides support. Members help each other out. It gives you incredible product feedback. It drives acquisition. That's your word of mouth engine. It generates tons of content. It drives engagement with your brand. And ultimately, it helps your customers find success. Each one of those is a massive business driver. All right, enough with the theory. This stuff sounds good, but does it actually work in the real world? Oh, you bet it does. Let's look at a few companies that are just masters of this game.
Take Notion. When it first launched, it was this super powerful tool, but it was also kind of like a blank page, a little intimidating. The game changer? When the users started creating and sharing templates for everything you could imagine. Suddenly, the community was building the product's use cases and showing new people how to use it. They basically became Notion's onboarding team and its sales force, all at once. Figma hold off a similar masterstroke in the design space. They created this amazing remix culture where designers could share their work for anyone to use and build on. What did that do? It created this gigantic, ever-growing library of free resources. And that became their competitive moat. I mean, think about it. If you want to compete with Figma, you don't just have to build better software. You have to somehow replicate millions of hours of work that their community gave them for free. It's almost impossible. And it's not just for software. Look at Glossier. They started as a blog, right? And the comment section on that blog became their R&D department. It was like the world's biggest, most passionate focus group. They just listened to what people were asking for, and then they went and made it. The result? A billion-dollar brand that felt like it was co-created and co-owned by its customers, right from the very beginning. But, and this is a huge but, there's a dark side. This power is a double-edged sword, because every single community runs on an unwritten agreement, a kind of social contract. And if you, as the company, break that contract, if you break that trust, that flywheel can start spinning backwards so fast it'll make your head spin. Just look at what happened with Unity, the game engine. They suddenly decided to change their pricing, retroactively. They were basically trying to tax the very people who had built their entire businesses on the platform. The reaction was immediate and brutal. The developers revolted, trust just vanished, and the CEO, gone. Or look at Reddit. They made a move that angered their volunteer moderators, the people who actually run the site for free. And what happened? Those mods just shut down thousands of the biggest communities, making the site totally unusable. It was a massive demonstration of where the real power lies.
And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, trust. We live in this age of just infinite noise, right? Trust is the only thing that cuts through. It's the only real signal. So community-led growth isn't really some new fancy trick. It's actually a return to the most basic, timeless role of business. You build genuine trust with people. That's the one thing your competitors can never copy and can never buy.
So I want to leave you with a question, and it's for anyone out there building anything, a company, a YouTube channel, a local club, whatever. Look at the people who have gathered around you, the people who believe in what you're doing. Do you see them as a resource to be mined, or do you see them as a garden to be tended? Because how you answer that one question, that's probably going to define your success for the next 10 years.